Chapter 1. Foundational Years. Old and New. When you are ready to accept truth, the answers will be revealed. I am a simple soul that had developed a habit of complicating things. This habit allowed me to believe that if only I could master something complicated, then I could validate myself as being worthy enough, clever enough for people to respect, love, see, accept, and hear me. Sadly, my foundational years lacked some of those things, and that was the beginning of building my own prison and only seeing what I lacked and what was wrong. There I locked myself into the self-imposed barricades around my heart and the soul expression. Here is where I began playing out beliefs about not being good enough or being accepted or wanted. I therefore disconnected from my true essence. As part of my awakenings, I realised I was the only one that needed to see me, hear me, respect me, and acknowledge me. It was not a requirement of anyone else. How could I expect those things from anyone else when I couldn't do it for myself? I did not know or understand that this was okay for me to have boundaries. Boundary teaching was not in abundance when I was younger, as it wasn't for my caregivers either. It's almost impossible to teach boundaries if you don't have them for yourself. I talk a lot about energy in this book, so I would like to just touch on the 7 primary energy centres. These correlate to the first 7 years of your life, the foundational years. You may have heard or be more familiar with the term chakras. You may be completely new to this term, which is equally great, because this is a sign you are ready for new information, experiences, and knowledge. You may be thinking this is all just a little bit too, what is that new term? A bit woo-woo. This phrase makes me chuckle when I hear it, because to me it isn't. When you really look into a lot of the new science and quantum physics, it really isn't woo-woo. Our ancestors and previous civilizations lived by the laws of nature and energy, and we are all in the process of remembering this now. Personally, I love that the new science is now talking energy and in relation to us as energetic beings, because it has validated so many of my life experiences. It is not just some weird stuff that no one believes. Thank God science caught up. I always felt that the time would come when we would have the balance between spirituality and science, as I have a passion for both. Anyway, I digress. So back to the foundational years. The experiences we have in the first 7 years of life shape the rest of our lives. Energy as imprinting and trauma can become locked into those energy centres as blockages and patterns of potentially destructive behaviour. But do not worry, there is good news. These centres can be unlocked, allowing the release and reframing of trauma and imprints by doing energy work. I have gone through many deaths and rebirths throughout this life experience. Consciousness is forever expanding, forever being birthed, and as there is no separation, I am a fragment of the collective consciousness that is within all of us and brought into a physical manifestation, and so are you. So what made me shrink? As an empathic and sensitive child, I felt everything, the enormity of the fear that was present in the consciousness on the planet and the energetic fields of the people around me. I witnessed their fear and anxieties, which then gave me the feeling of wanting to shrink, constrict, and preserve myself by building strategies that kept me safe. These are the very things I have had to look at and undo in order to free myself, while also honouring that during that time they were totally necessary, and that's okay. As a child, I had an awareness that I was not just my physical body, and that the physical body was just a vessel, like a car to get me around. I was not my parents' possession, and they were simply there to guide me. I remember expressing this aloud to my mother with an unshakable knowing. I was so sure about it. Can you recall having experiences that you just know to be true with absolutely no doubt? I realised how what I would say was perceived as quite odd, especially as the person receiving that information may not be open to those realisations as truth. It prompts me to say that it's so important to be present with the wisdom that our children bring to us through their beautiful little vessels.